The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Today is Tuesday, October 19th, 2021. And like so many, this country is in transition. There's a question looming over our heads whether or not there will be justice for Black people in this country. We're going to discuss that, along with so many other political issues and issues so important to us. But we begin this morning, as always, with On the Clock with Georgia Ford.
The three men who are charged in the death of AHMAUD Arbery is currently underway in Georgia. This after we learned that the prosecutor who was formerly overseeing the case has also been indicted. And so we'll go probably a week or two through jury selection. We've heard about 600 people have received notices to serve on this jury. And we expect that the prosecution and defense are going to pick through these individuals, person by person. I want you guys to take a look at recent coverage on this trial.
Closely watched murder trial for AHMAUD Arbery's accused killers kicked off on Monday in Georgia. Hundreds of people were ordered to report for jury duty in what could be a long, laborious effort to find jurors to hear the trial of three white men charged with fatally shooting the 25-year-old Black man in February of 2020. Gregory McMichael, his son Travis, and their neighbor William Bryan are facing state charges including murder, false imprisonment, and aggravated assault. The defendants have all pleaded not guilty. The McMichaels say they suspected Arbery was a burglar and acted in self-defense. Arbery was unarmed and out for a jog in the neighborhood when the men chased him in their trucks and fought him before ultimately shooting him. The release of a graphic video of Arbery being killed prompted the state legislature to make significant changes to Georgia criminal law, including passage of the state's first hate crime statute.
I do think that AHMAUD was murdered because he was Black. He was jogging through a predominantly white neighborhood and he was targeted.
Do you believe that you can get a fair and impartial jury in that area when there's been so much publicity in the case? Are you worried about that?
Yes, I have my concerns, being that the jurors will be picked from this community, but I'm hopefully that we'll get the right people in the right place to make the right decision.
Now, Ben, I know that we followed the Chauvin trial closely, and this is a little different because this isn't a case where you had an officer, right? This was three individuals who claimed that they were trying to make a citizen's arrest.
That's right.
Right. But nonetheless, it's a case of injustice. Are you concerned about the jury selection, about this trial as well?
Oh, no, absolutely. One thing this country is prolific at is getting away with murder, specifically the murder of Black men and women. And then the fact that we are in Georgia. And the fact that these men, one of them, the father in this case, was a former police officer, or is rather a former police officer. And that is how they were able to circumvent justice for as long as they did. And so I do have a grave concern over whether or not we will get justice in this case. And more importantly, Georgia, what are we doing to prevent the next vigilante killing of Black people?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this case reminds me a lot of Trayvon Martin. You know, these three men taking matters into their own hands. And so I do also think it's going to be an examination of the current laws there, what laws currently exist that allow people to act with the authority of law enforcement. Yeah, I feel like those are outdated, and hopefully whatever grounds for self-defense, because all three men pleaded not guilty. So whatever grounds of self-defense, I think, is going to be backed by whatever legislation is enacted in Georgia that would allow these men to act as though they were law enforcement officers, similar to what we saw with in Trayvon Martin. In that situation, you had George Zimmerman who used the stand your ground law. So this is going to be an examination of the law and hopefully bring to light some overdue changes that are needed.
Right. And it's also going to be an examination of the criminal justice process and the jury selection process. And we're going to see how the defense attorneys are going to do. And this is their right, of course, to get a fair trial as defendants. But what's fair for white men in this country is decidedly different than what's fair for the rest of us, because we're going to see all of the jury reflect and look exactly like the peers of the defendants in this case, who are the men who ultimately killed Ahmaud Arbery.
And I think that as we examine the time we're in, and because Ahmaud Arbery, when we learned that he had been killed, it was quite some time after the incident actually happened.
That's right.
And I feel like, was also a part of that week or two where the nation, it was like we learned about Ahmaud Arbery, we learned about Breonna Taylor, and then we witnessed the murder of George Floyd. And so I feel like there was, this kind of buildup to the global response that we saw. And in some way, Ben, I feel like these trials are a continuation of the historic moment that we're in. And, so many people compare and contrast 2020 to the 50s and the 60s. And so to be able to tell whether or not we've truly made progress, we need to know that something in the criminal justice process has changed. And that this system can work for Ahmaud Arbery's mother, that these men can be found guilty and that they can be sentenced fairly.
And the real question for me, and I think in so many of these cases, is that we have the clear evidence that these men killed Ahmaud Arbery. There's no question about that. We do have to go through the justice process, lest we become vigilantes, much like them. That said, we really have a question on the table. Are we going to allow the unjustified fear of Black people to continue to be an excuse for killing us? You compare this to George Zimmerman, but this is exactly the case. You're absolutely right, because George Zimmerman got away with murder. And the question now is, will these men be able to do the same?
What I will say, what was completely shocking when I learned that the prosecutor was being indicted and that there had been some evidence to show that McMichael was a former employee of hers and that she did what she could to avoid him being arrested. And I just thought that was extremely shocking, because historically in this country, when you have seen white people in positions of power who have used that power to cover up misconduct, usually there is no accountability.
That's right.
But in this instant, the fact that she's facing charges, the fact that she's been indicted, I think speaks volumes that we indeed are in a different time.
And it also shows a parallel to Bob McCullough, the prosecuting attorney in Ferguson, Missouri, who handled the case of Mike Brown. And we saw how he inserted himself on behalf of the defendants. You don't see this happening in any other case except for when it's a black person who has been killed. We saw the same. I had the same feeling. I can't say that we saw this exact same thing with Trayvon Martin because they took him to trial. But there are some things about the trial itself that made me. I didn't really fully believe that the prosecutors were on the side of justice. And that's going to be the real question here. And as you said, Georgia, the prosecutor in this case is under investigation because she inserted herself on behalf of the police officers at the expense of this black man's life. And that, I believe, is part and parcel of the disease that is at the rot of this empire.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then we learned about Kelsey Rayner, which was another case that she was overseeing. And in that case, one of the individuals who was working at the jail where Kelsey Rayner died was also her former employee. And it was interesting that there was no indictment in that case. And so now we're beginning to see a pattern of misuse of power with this specific attorney there. But, Ben, the other thing that I think about, is there in Georgia, there's another case, Kendrick Johnson, who was found in Valdosta. He was a high school student, was found rolled up in a mat. Yeah. And there's now a movie called Finding Kendrick Johnson that's on Amazon Prime. I had a chance to watch it yesterday and the images are just burned into my mind. But what you cannot ignore in that case is the cover-up, and at what point is America going to reckon with this long-standing history of covering up injustices and violence against specifically Black men?
Yeah.
There's been this long standing history. I mean, even they drew the parallel in this documentary to Emmett Till and how he was accused by a white woman of, he whistled at her, but we found out 70 years later that she recanted her accusations and said that they were lies. And so our country has this long standing history, so many examples of cases that just appear to be covered up.
Yeah. That's because this country has a vested interest in the continuation, right? It's been a long-standing vilification of Black people, Black men specifically, most certainly Black women too. This country has a vested interest in maintaining that fear of Blackness and the fear of other, right? We see very similar parallels with other marginalized communities that are always lifted up to be the boogeyman. But in our case, it ends with our death, because that is the justification that gives that police officer in Ohio the ability to pull up on the scene of 12-year-old Tamir Rice and without even ascertaining anything, within 2.7 seconds, executed a 12-year-old Black boy. And that's because this country is used to viewing us as monsters, and they're maintaining that image.
Yeah. It breaks my heart continuously.
Yeah.
Ben, I know that you've been tracking another story this morning.
Yeah, no, I do believe that all these things are connected. We're following the committee vote that is to occur today on whether or not Steve Bannon, the consultant, the advisor for Donald Trump, he is I would consider him to be the henchman behind the American version of this global right-wing reaction movement that we're seeing. And to put that into simple terms, that means all of the fascists around the world are uniting, Georgia. All of the reactionaries around the world are uniting in their opposition towards progress, towards modernity, altogether. And definitely against marginalized communities, and that includes the Black community. Well, there's going to be a vote today whether or not to hold Steve Bannon in contempt as it pertains to his unwillingness to testify with regard to January 6th. I have a couple of clips that I want us to take a look at, but in context, I want you to also consider this. Former President Trump is suing. He is suing in order to block the January 6th committee and the National Archives from releasing the documents and all of the information that the committee needs to carry out the investigation. That said, I want us to take a look at this first clip to give us a little bit more information on the testimony that Steve Bannon is trying to avoid and the possibility of contempt, as well as this lawsuit that's coming from -45 Donald Trump.
And whom exactly is former President Trump suing?
So, Jake, in this filing that just crossed in the D.C. Circuit Court, the former president has filed a lawsuit against the January 6th committee and the National Archives in an effort to keep secret a whole tranche of documents that the committee is looking for in regards to their investigation as to what happened on January 6th and what potential role the former president may have played.
And so that was a clip from CNN and Jake Tapper just kind of outlining the underlying thing that's happening here in Georgia. And so as we are trying to get progress towards better understanding what happened on January 6th, the former president, -45, is doing all he can to block it. Now, I want to give a couple of more details as it pertains to Steve Bannon. In this next clip, they break down the possibility of him being held in contempt. Let's take a listen in.
Probing the deadly January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol said on Thursday that Steve Bannon had refused to cooperate with its investigation and that it would convene on Tuesday to vote on holding the longtime Trump advisor in criminal contempt.
Bannon had been subpoenaed to testify before the January 6th Select Committee. It wasn't a surprise, though. Bannon had told the committee that under guidance from Trump, he wasn't going to show. According to the New York Times, Bannon's attorney told the committee Bannon wouldn't cooperate until such a time as you reach an agreement with President Trump on claims of executive privilege or receive a court ruling.
The committee's chairman, Democrat Benny Thompson, said in a statement, quote, "The Select Committee will not tolerate defiance of our subpoenas, so we must move forward with proceedings to refer Mr. Bannon for criminal contempt." The subpoena to Bannon is one of more than a dozen issued by the Democratic Select Committee, with some depositions scheduled as soon as this week. It was not immediately clear whether any former aides to Donald Trump would appear after the former president urged them to refuse to cooperate. 3 other close Trump allies, Mark Meadows, Dan Scavino, and Kash Patel, have received similar subpoenas, but the extent of their cooperation was unclear.
The committee will vote on contempt charges for Bannon next week. If then the House approves the charges, they'll go to the Justice Department with the recommendation the DOJ pursue a legal case against Bannon. Anyone who's found guilty for contempt of Congress is then guilty of a crime that could result in a fine and up to a year behind bars.
Now, to be certain, Georgia, even if we get as far as actually holding Steve Bannon in contempt, I doubt very seriously that he will get that maximum sentence of a year behind bars. But they are playing a game of chicken with this committee because they understand the culpability that not only Donald Trump has, but I would argue the entire Republican Party has with the terrorist attack on January 6th.
Yeah. Well, and, there's always the parallels. The misuse of power. Here you have individuals, even looking at Trump, who, had the highest seats in this nation. And he absolutely misused his power. And now what we're seeing here with this investigation and people who are trying to avoid coming forward with information and ultimately what they're trying to reveal here is who organized this. Right. This wasn't just something that everybody just showed up just sporadically at the same time. There was organized communication that happened for these individuals to show up on January 6th and trying to figure out who sent the orders, who gave them those marching orders to go storm the Capitol. That, I think, right now is really what this investigation is about. But what we're seeing is everybody is trying to avoid accountability. Everybody's trying to sweep this under the rug and minimize this. I saw on my timeline over the last week a few mentors or former bosses who attended the Million Man March, and they showed just a sea of Black men on the steps of the Capitol, but nobody stormed it. Not one person caused any damage. More than 1 million people. It's the largest gathering in DC history. And here we are looking at all of these individuals who I absolutely believe received direct orders from Trump or someone in his administration to do what they did on January 6th.
Oh, absolutely, without question. And I want to urge people to understand that this doesn't happen without a serious level of organization. They are organized. They are organized. They have their private communications. They have their encrypted signal chats. They are organizing as furiously to stop progress as I would hope we are organizing on our side to forward progress. But there's some questions there because, they have funding for this. January 6th doesn't happen, Georgia, without major funding. And I think this is also what they're trying to block, that information from being released. You also have culpability across the board. You have little Charlie Kirk, as our friend, Brother Mac refers to him, sponsored 80 buses. Turning Points USA. It is a major organization that's all the way around the country, founded by Charlie Kirk. 80 buses. So there's money. There's a money trail. There's culpability. And I think it's going to come all the way from the top. You're right. Donald Trump, all the way down to the rank and file people who have already been arrested.
You bring up a good point about the encrypted messages, the encrypted channels in which people can organize and do communications. I wonder why the FBI can't subpoena Signal. If you're not familiar with Signal, it is a app that you can download on your phone, and it's probably one of the only ones I know about that has those encrypted messages. I wonder why the FBI can't subpoena that company and ask them to hand over any communication about January 6th. There's got to be some way, and I'm sure obviously we're getting into muddy water here in terms of overstepping people's privacy. But in a case where you have a national threat, a national attack on our capital, I think there might be some grounds to override some of those laws. In the same way that we saw laws overridden when they went and stormed the Capitol, and really there was little to no arrests on the day of, right? So there's got to be a way on some of those encrypted channels for the FBI to get their hands on those communications.
Well, you've caught me in a unique position here in Georgia, because I am firmly opposed to the FBI even thinking they should be able to get those messages, because, just as much as they're organizing over there, I might be doing a little organizing myself. But now here's the flip side of that. The flip side of that is the FBI has historically shown that they don't give a damn about anyone's privacy. They have COINTELPRO has infiltrated the Black community. I mean, we even have a new iteration, COINTELBRO, where you have white infiltrators of the progressive movement, right? So the FBI is very capable of doing it, but I am loath to give them any license to do it, because whenever it is done, it has historically been brought down on the backs and the lives and the necks of Black people. They don't have
those boundaries when it's Black organizers. We've seen them throw away the rule book, even with the latest movie about MLK, where you see J. Edgar Hoover following him and tapping his phone lines and doing all of these things. And so while I agree, on the other hand, it frustrates me because we've seen them do away with these boundaries before, but only when they're investigating someone who looks like you and me.
That's right. That's right. And also, Georgia, the only other time I see the FBI really be effective and the federal government be effective is in blocking unions. And this is Strike-Tober. Coming up in the next block, we're going to be speaking with Mike Elk. He is a union reporter with the Payday Report. And we're going to see all of the actions that are taking place around the country. It is a beautiful thing to see all the strikes that are taking place on behalf of workers. And then we can expand the conversation, because we'll see also there's an intersection. The government loves to get involved in the communication of union organizers. So we'll discuss that a little bit today at the 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, at the 8:30 hour.
Well, and before we move on, I do want to take a look at Texas and Florida banning the vaccination mandate. We are seeing a decline in COVID numbers across the country, but there's concerns that there could be another spike at some point, especially when you have states that are banning a vaccination mandate. I want you guys to take a look at the latest from Fox News. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we have one of the governors from those states representing and explaining more about why he decided to make that ban on the vaccine.
Where does this end? We're talking about a federal mandate for a shot. As you know, there's waning effectiveness of these shots. Are people going to be required by the federal government to take a shot every single year for the rest of their lives? Americans need to come to grips with the unconstitutional overreach by the Biden administration.
And so calling it a constitutional overreach. But Ben, I mean, we've had vaccination mandates our entire lives.
Yeah. Georgia, this is peculiar to me because we are dealing with a series of governors who are executing their part in a much broader plan. You cannot tell me that in the midst of a global pandemic, the likes we have not seen since 1918, that the irrationality that we're seeing in Ron DeSantis in Florida, Tate Reeves in Mississippi, Greg Abbott in Texas, and the governor from Alabama, all Republican governors doing everything that they can to ensure the maximum amount of deaths occur. Because to oppose a vaccine mandate, which you are absolutely correct, which is something that no one can go to public school. You can go to any school without getting vaccinated. This is not constitutional overreach. In fact, it is part and parcel the responsibility of the federal government to ensure the public health. That said, why is it that we have such an organized effort by Republicans to kill as many people as possible with COVID-19?
You know, there are some places that are up to 90% vaccinated rate, right? More than 90% of their population in some states have been vaccinated. And the amount of deaths down, the amount of infections down. And so when you look at the numbers, it has just been proven that the vaccination works.
That's right.
And so, you know, if you need to get a booster, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But
Right.
the fact that we're hearing from Abbott, the governor of Texas there, saying, you know, we're going to have to get a shot for the rest of our lives. I mean, what do you want?
If you want to live,
want people to keep dying? Do you want our children to keep dying? I mean, it's just this entire pandemic has been so frustrating because you've truly been able to see people's privilege and power. The only people who are saying things like that are those who have the privilege to do so.
Absolutely. And the savagery to do so, because death is pretty permanent. If I have to take a booster shot every year for the rest of my life in order to keep living, sign me up. Greg Abbott will be in that line too, but he wants his constituents to not be in that line. I really just need people to understand that this is a concerted effort. You don't get to 750,000 deaths in a pandemic when we have a vaccine unless there's an organized effort to maximize it. And we see the same talking points from governors. We see it at the organizers, the people who are at these town hall meetings and the school board meetings across the country. There's money and organization. And I think what we're going to find, Georgia, is that there's a huge overlap in the talking points in the conversations and the investigations into January 6th. There's going to be a huge overlap with the same people who are pushing this.
You're reading my mind.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, you know, how you have a group chat, right? I think that what we're seeing play out with COVID-19 is still in that same group chat that started before January 6th.
That's
and
right.
it's just now morphed and evolved into this attack on vaccines and mask mandates, but it's the same folks.
And you know what, Georgia?
The same folks.
The same folks who are there talking about the thin blue line, the same folks who are there opposing the case for justice for Ahmaud Arbery, the same people who think that Black lives don't matter. Those are the same people in that exact same group chat, and they are the same villains throughout this entire narrative.
With that said, we are on the clock, but stick around for more on The Benjamin Dixon Show.
Good morning, people. Y'all know the voice, y'all know the sound. It's your boy James Bubba Williams, DJ Exclusive, is in the building. Good morning, everybody. Y'all make sure you grab your tea, your coffee, whatever you need to get your morning started, man. The Benjamin Dixon Show will be right back. So stay tuned. Good morning. There we go, y'all. Good morning.
I'll still think about it. We can take my lamb out. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Jacob.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Shout out B, Chuck Diesel. Good morning. Brother Lateef, Esther. Good morning. Shout out Tiger. Good morning. Good morning. It's regular coffee this morning. It just got up early. That's all it is. And water. Lily. Good morning. Shoot the Dragon. Good morning.
Why you so salty?
You sure you can handle? Okay. We can take my lamb out. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle?
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
One James, DJ Exclusive, as always. How you doing this morning, brother?
I'm good, bro. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just, I'm in transition and we're getting, getting things together over in Atlanta. So I was like, bro, I am not putting on a blazer today. I'm just not. It's just, I'm glad to just even be here, bro. The kind of work, we'll talk about it in the after party, patreon.com/The BPD Show. Or patreon.com/like it or not, man, because we got some stories from this past week that are hilarious. That said, we're going to be joined momentarily by Mike Elk. He is a union reporter for Payday Report, and he's covering all of the strikes that are happening around the country. James, have you heard about the Deere workers, the strikers, the 10,000 workers from Deere that are striking right now? And the management... The management thought that they would be able to just jump in there and put other people in to drive the trucks and drive the forklifts and drive all this union labor equipment. And within the first 3 hours, they had to call 911 because, and I think something caught on fire. It's just it's the absurdity of disregarding the critical value that workers play in our system that management is getting a little taste of this week, or rather this entire month. So solidarity with workers all across the country and all across the world, to be quite honest with you, James.
Right. I didn't hear about that. I thought you were talking about the deer that was on the interstate hauling ass the other day in Atlanta. That's the deer I thought you saw. I didn't hear about that. Yeah, sorry,
or the deer that used to be in my old backyard, or the deer that's on the side of the road. And listen, man, listen. Georgia is a different kind of country, bro. I got a lot of stories to cover. And we're going to jump into one day, but I want to jump into the one about Black Lives Matter. BPD2 is where I want to go first. But bro, I'm in Florida right now, and it's country. It is country, but it's not Georgia country. Like the bugs and the heat and the flies. And don't get me wrong, I'm coming right back to Georgia. I'm coming right back to Atlanta. But my God, today, I'm so glad to not have to be dealing with an assortment of vermin crawling throughout the house at any given time of the day, man. Scorpions and stuff like that. Y'all wilder in Georgia, bro.
Oh yeah. It's a whole nother kind of thing. And then where I'm staying at, it's deer, wolves. Snakes. Oh yeah. We've seen everything over here. When I tell you,
Tyrannosaurus Rexes too. What?
Man, if you look out, it look like that's what's about to pop out of these bushes over here.
Man, look here. Stranger things have happened, including these end time conspiracy theorists. How'd you like that transition? These end time conspiracy theorists, Tom Horn, says that Black Lives Matter activists are using, quote, satanic energy in order to overcome the Christian influence in America, adding that they literally want to bathe in the blood of Christianity and of believers. I didn't know you wanted to bathe in the blood of Christ. I just wanted to, bathe in some rose petals like on Coming to America. I didn't really want to bathe in the blood of Christians, man.
Not the blood of Christians.
Blood of Christians, the blood of Jesus. Run the clip, David.
You see some of the BLM and other characters out there saying, say their name, say their name. They are invoking the spirits of their dead ancestors to give them a kind of satanic energy in order to overcome the Christian influence that otherwise might be embellished within this country. So at its core, what we're seeing in America today has history behind it that is very much demonic. And that's not just a play on words. So what guided Marx, and the reason that these people wind up becoming so violent, they literally want to bathe in the blood of Christianity and of believers. And this is why you see the heads of those beheaded for their testimony under the altar in heaven, is because it is satanic. It is Luciferian. Right. We will exalt our throne above the throne of God. We will become more like, better than the Most High. So that's what is happening in America right now. It is what is behind the chaos that is both in the government and in the streets.
James, I got to get a light. I'm extra dark skinned today.
It's like, and when I look at you on two different computers, dude, it's like on one computer, you're pretty good. Then I go to the other computer when my camera's plugged up, and then it's just like, oh, he dark out today. Darkness, everybody.
Darkness. I'm midnight black today.
I'm like, this man could be incognito over here.
Because I really don't have a whole lot to say to this clown. I mean,
exactly, dude.
Exactly. I'm more concerned about the fact. I'm more concerned about the fact that I don't have my ring light. You know what I mean? I'm more concerned about the fact that, when I'm walking down my father-in-law's driveway, I got to be really concerned about how the neighbors see me. So I can't just be out there dancing in the streets like I did in my old block, because this clown really does not deserve our intellectual bandwidth. That said, I want to move past this clown because the only, let's bring on a real conversation. Mike Elk. That's what I think of that other guy. Mike Elk is a labor organizer, reporter for Payday Report. He's been on the show before. And one of the things I love most about you, Mike, is your accent. How are you doing with that accent this morning?
We're doing okay. I don't know how yins are doing that.
Now, wait a minute. Did you put it on extra for? No, you didn't. That's how you, whenever I talk with you, that's how you sound, man. How's it going on the union?
Good. It's funny. I'm out here in LA. I was covering all this stuff happening with IATSE, and I said to someone the other night, I said, "Oh, what do yins think of this?" And they said, "Who's yins?" And I said, "Well, yins are yins." And they're like, we say instead of y'all, we say yins. And these Mexican folks were looking at me like, did he just say some sort of swear word at us?
Wait a minute, you were about to get canceled for your accent? Man, listen, you got to be careful out here. You never know. Cancel culture is really strong right now. No, it's really not. Right.
Well, I wish I was back in Pittsburgh today. The big news this morning is Summer Lee, the first black state rep from Western PA, a real progressive fighter, just announced she's running for Congress. And already in her first ad, she attacked U.S. Steel for environmental waste and busting unions, which isn't something we've really seen before. So, kind of wish I was back there for the fireworks today. But there's a lot happening right now in the labor movement. There was a big struggle here. There still might be a struggle here against the major studios over the overwork issue. And a lot of these big film studios, they're making folks work 16, 18-hour days. Often, sometimes, regularly, working 14, 16-hour days, sometimes 18-hour days on these film sets. And, there was supposed to be a resolution in this contract, in this tentative agreement approached by IATSE about, creating a situation where workers wouldn't have to work those kind of hours. And after the pandemic, people just aren't willing to do that kind of work anymore. People took time off during the pandemic. They took care of their families, and they started to realize, our jobs really burn us out. Maybe there are better alternatives. And this is something we're seeing just not in, film production, but, in the most recent numbers from August, over 700,000 people quit the retail sector for other sectors. We're seeing, something like 3 million people a month change jobs. It's a very loose labor market, but part of it is that, one, a lot of people went out of the workforce, 2 million more people retired, 3 million more people quit their jobs to take care of their kids. And, we're seeing a huge, a lot of people are dealing with disability issues from COVID. So we're seeing a huge issue. And so we're seeing strikes all over. Right. This is part of a big trend. We have a strike tracker at Payday Report. We've tracked 1,600 strikes since the beginning of the pandemic.
Wow.
In the past year, we've tracked over 400. And that's what we know about, because oftentimes we'll find videos on TikToks of kids, doing like roll out of a McDonald's. And we'll be like, we want to put it on the strike tracker, except y'all should have tagged the McDonald's in here.
Yeah.
So that we could figure out the address. We don't know where this place is. So that's one of our criteria.
Mike, let me jump in there, because this is Strike-Tober. Right. And I think a lot of people just would not know, though, if not for the deer strikers, 10,000 of them striking this week and bringing this level of attention to it, I don't think people would know about any of the strikes that are going on. Why is it that the average person, who they themselves probably could very well be involved with something as simple as and it's not even simple, organizing your McDonald's, do that and walk out, do what you got to do. But why is it that people who would participate on that, they would not know that there's a broader tapestry of strikers happening all around the country, like you all are tracking at Payday Report?
Well, because one, there's not really many labor beats on reporters on the beat anymore tracking this stuff. So, it goes by the wayside. But not only that, I think the big issue right now is that, this has really captured the public imagination. There have been strikes at places like Nabisco and Frito-Lay and Kellogg and now John Deere. Those are big name brand companies. But every day we're seeing retail workers walk out of their jobs, even without the support of unions. It's just the way that covering the labor movement happens is, you really have to be paying attention to a lot of little struggles in a lot of workplaces. Maybe, like 7 or 8 people in this workplace here, 8 or 9 people in that workplace here. And unfortunately, that's not the way the media is set up. Now that there's these big name brand household, Americana names like Kellogg and John Deere and possibly the Hollywood studios, now, the media is really, really paying attention.
Good.
And it's been, quite fascinating as I'm even sitting here watching, the Strike-Tober clips come up to see the media and to see, mainstream outlets say American workers are on the march again. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. No, it's an inflection point, Mike. I think we're in an inflection point in this country. And I think you pinpointed the exact cause. I think the American people expected the American government to do a whole lot better by us during this pandemic. And when the people realized that we were on our own, they said, fine, we know how to handle this. We don't have to work for you. Not during a pandemic. We don't have to slave away at your slave wages. I want to play this first clip, and it's from the Recount. They're doing great work. This is the second clip that we played from them directly today. So I want to make sure we give Recount a shout out. But here's pretty much a summary, if I'm not mistaken, David, of the different strikes that are happening across the country. Let's take a quick look at that.
calling it Strike-Tober.
10,000 employees of John Deere, members of the United Auto Workers Association, are on strike.
Memphis Kellogg workers plan to strike today.
The union representing film and television crews says its 60,000 members will strike Monday.
Workers at Heaven Hill Distillery are now in their fourth week of their demonstrations.
Local Iron Workers Union is looking for better benefits and higher wages, and now they're walking the picket line to prove it.
St. Vincent Hospital reportedly declares an impasse on negotiations in the hospital's months-long nurses' strike.
Coal miners in one community have been pushing for better wages and benefits. They've been on strike now for months.
In California and Oregon, 24,000 nurses and other healthcare workers at Kaiser Permanente voted to authorize a strike over pay and better working conditions.
We are now in day 18 of the RTC bus driver strike.
Mike, workers of the United States unite.
Yeah, and it's at a point now where people feel like they have a lot of advantage, that, employers are scared. I'm going around downtown Pittsburgh and I see bars with signs in their windows saying they'll pay people a $500 hiring bonus if they stay a month. Employers are desperate to find folks, and
hold out for 1,000 people. Hold out. No, y'all better go get that 500. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm out of pocket.
Well, I'm even hearing on the radio. I'm hearing on the radio. Amazon is now offering $1,000 hiring bonuses, and they're claiming that they're raising their wages to $18 an hour. And we're seeing CVS raise their wages and PNC Bank. And I think after the pandemic, we had 700,000 people die.
Right.
Whenever there's been events like that in American history, if you look at the Civil War. The modern labor movement was founded by Civil War veterans that came back and said, we fought for free labor. What do we have to go back and be treated this way
for?
Right. And if you look at World War II, which, 1946 is a record year in America for strikes when people came home from the war. After any period of mass sacrifice in American history, there's always been a period where folks have demanded a lot more. And I think this is certainly going to be one of them, because so many folks, we have an interview coming out with Boots Riley, and Boots Riley said to me that the biggest mistake the ruling class ever made was coming up with the phrase essential workers.
Shout out to Boots Riley. I would love to get him on the show. Please tell him that despite the flash and all the veneer, we pretty much are in solidarity, complete and total solidarity. Tell him to come on the Benjamin Dixon Show. Now, that said, I have one more clip, Mike. I want you to take a look at before we get out of here, because you actually set it up already. It's the film workers who are striking, and I mean, there's plenty of stories of what's happening in the film industry in Georgia that has one-for-one analog with what's happening in LA. Let's take a look at that clip.
Hollywood narrowly averted a strike that could have shuttered film and TV productions across the country. Union negotiators at the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees struck a deal with the major studios Saturday afternoon, just over 24 hours ahead of a deadline that would have prompted the shutdown.
From a broad look at this deal, the tentative agreement includes wage increases for people on the bottom of the pay scale, along with those involved in streaming. Plus, it addresses meal breaks and longer rest periods between workdays and on the weekend. IATSE members will be given a fuller breakdown early this week, and then they'll vote on whether to ratify the agreement.
The tentative agreement provides a 54-hour weekend and 10-hour turnaround time between shifts for all workers on all productions, as well as retroactive wage increases of 3% annually. The contract must still be ratified by the membership, which likely will not occur for several weeks at minimum, if not a couple of months. IATSE leadership is characterizing the deal as a success. The workers, however, seem to disagree. Many members of IATSE say they will vote against ratifying a new contract with the studios because it does not do enough to address working conditions on set. One member even saying, quote, "I feel like our leadership has let us down again."
Mike, you've been covering this. Help us to understand the friction that's happening there.
Well, the pension plan of IATSE was in a lot of trouble. And one of the things that, instead of agreeing to limit the overtime hours, which was the main concern of the strike, now the studios simply have to give people a 10-hour break. So they can work you 18 hours and then say, oh, great, after working 18 hours, go home, lay down, try to get some rest and come back in another 10. I mean, that's outrageous, 8-hour day, people fought for that,
That's right.
And, it's outrageous to think of that kind of deal. But, what it is you have, a certain type of company unionism here. And so we're seeing a mass outpouring of opposition to this contract. You have a group on Instagram called IA_stories, which is a big rank and file group of 160,000 followers. And they've come out against the deal. And in many ways, I wrote to our readers last night because we're trying to get more funding to cover these wildcat strikes. I wrote and I said, it reminded me heavily of West Virginia teachers' strike when the union came back with a deal and workers said not enough. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. There's already talks of wildcat strikes. There was a pre-planned wildcat strike tomorrow against Netflix over the treatment of some trans employees there who've spoken up against Dave Chappelle. They were retaliated against after airing some concerns about Dave. That's going to be interesting to see what happens with that and, what kind of other issues pour into this, because obviously they're taking a very intersectional approach. And then on top of that, it's going to be a long ratification process. Typically, when you get a union contract, they try to bring it back to the members to vote on whether or not to ratify it within a week or two. That's what happened at John Deere. Initially, the UAW, the union leaders, wanted the workers at John Deere to accept the contract, and they voted overwhelmingly not to accept it, and they told the union leaders they want to strike anyhow. And so I think we're seeing a movement very similar to the beginnings of the Red for Ed movement 3 years ago, where people are being a lot more militant. People are much more connected to other workers. I mean, I'm in a lot of these union Facebook groups, and workers from one plant will talk to workers from another plant, and we're having those kind of cross-movement dialogues that I don't think we would necessarily be able to have even 10 years ago. And that's a lot of what happened during the teachers' strike when, teachers from West Virginia helped inspire teachers from Oklahoma and Arizona.
Right. That was a good time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a great time. We flew all over there. And so we're out in Hollywood this week talking to folks and figuring out what's going on. Mm-hmm.
Let me jump in there only because we're coming up at the end of the hour, and I want to dovetail the conversation and make sure that there's no disconnect, because we speak unapologetically about Black issues, and I see no separation between workers' issues and Black issues, because when I drive through the I-10 corridor through the South, I see nothing but manufacturing plants, car manufacturing, the Kia plant. You go in Jackson, Mississippi, you got the Nissan plant, and you got in Georgia, you got the Alabama, the Bamazonians that are in Alabama. You got Amazon plants everywhere, and all of the people working in these plants, everywhere I see in the South, they're all Black. So would you just tie in that the connectivity with a few moments that we have left, because I just don't see a separation between workers' issue and Black issues, because Black folks are workers out here. I know you're a white man, but I'm pretty sure you're adept at speaking to that.
Well, I'm Jewish, so
there you go.
Asterisk there.
There you go.
Asterisk on white. But anyhow, I think unions, people forget they're not about wages, they're about respect, right? And if you look at the numbers, African Americans are twice as likely to support unions as white Americans because of the issues of respect on the job. And I think all too often we see the class reductionists try to boil this down to just wage and hour, when it's really about respect and a sense of dignity on the job. And if you look at what's happening, particularly these retail worker walkouts, they're heavily in African-American communities. There's Black TikTok is really driving a lot of this movement. Unions haven't really done much to encourage these retail walkouts. But, if you look at Black TikTok in particular, it's really driven these. And you're looking now, I mean, I'm seeing, you saw there was a school bus strike of Black drivers in Savannah. There have been issues at DeKalb. There have been a bunch of municipalities, small municipalities I've seen throughout the South, in places like Greenville, Mississippi, where Black employees are walking out. And I think, if you look at what happened with BLM, and I think BLM plays such a big role in driving this movement, and we've shown that, we've shown, the month after George Floyd, there were over 600 strikes in this country in 1 month. And, we're looking at 400 in the past year. So I really think, one lesson for the labor movement to really learn is we really have to do more to encourage, striking over race. I mean, last summer when there were the NBA strikes, I thought, there's going to be this huge ripple effect in all these other industries. And the labor movement did nothing to sort of say, hey, let's walk out too with the NBA players,
That's right.
Like all the other sports. And so I think, now like the John Deere story, you look at it, I mean, there've been 700,000 retail workers quit in the last, in August, right? There's 10,000 John Deere workers on strike. It's 10,000 white guys in the middle of America. That's a narrative they really like a lot, at a name brand company. But you're seeing far more than 10,000 black workers walk off of retail jobs every month. So it goes to show you how things are being covered.
There it is. Wow, I had no idea how important that last question was going to be, because therein lies the solution. I've got to find these black TikTokers who are striking, and we want to bring them on the show and make sure that we put forward the narrative that this is being driven by black workers who are just saying, hey, this is technology and we have the right to be respected. Mike Elk, Payday Report, Union Organizing Labor Reporter. Thank you so much for all the coverage that you're doing, man.
Thank you for having me on. See you later.
All right, take care, man. Listen, DJ Exclusive, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back after this, we're coming back with Rebecca Azor and Like It or Not. And I'm looking forward to hearing, like it or not, it's about to go down. James, it's in your hands, man. Get us out of here.
Can't stand you, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We got more show coming up next. Rebecca Azor is coming up next with Like It or Not. Y'all stay tuned. Good morning again, everybody. Get your coffee, your tea, get your coffee, your tea, your beverage, your whatever it is you need. Give me the divine intervention. Y'all stay tuned.
Every day is just the beginning. Take it to the bank, now I'm winning. Oh, call me crazy, tell me lies. It won't stop me, watch me rise. No more anchors holding me down. All I need is more. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, like it or not, it's starting now. Like it or not, it's about to go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, people.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
Not care who doesn't like it. It looks like I'm the lit one this morning.
Yeah, my lighting is a little questionable today.
Yeah, usually I'm pretty like the weird in and out. It's probably gonna do it for real because all this light behind me. It's bright out here in Atlanta this morning. How y'all doing?
I missed y'all. It looks like you're sitting outside the throne room of heaven. It looks like behind you is like the holy.
with a little lean on the side because the camera is leaning. I see it right now. It's just leaning. But that's
a little bit of gangster lean.
Mine lean all the damn time. I done extended these poles like 1,000 times, and I'm still sitting here in this bitch with a gang bitch. This thing sitting here with a gangster lean like this. Rebecca, look,
I know. Look, and it's like I tried to prop it up on one leg, and then it's just be sliding on the other. I'm like, whatever you're gonna get is what you're gonna get on this morning.
That's it.
Hey, they just made me glad we here this morning because we doing 50 dozen jobs. I'm out here 41 years old moving furniture stuff. What I look like? I mean, yeah. But anyway, I digress. Rebecca, I actually wanted to come to you before I talk about me because it's always about me. Because we just got through talking with Mike Elk about labor and people striking, and the first thing I thought of was you because you forever organizing somebody on your head job.
So I ain't gonna tell y'all how. Look, so I ain't gonna tell y'all how. And good morning to the audience. I missed you guys, but I'm not gonna tell you guys how. Remember, I was talking about my family member being placed into a cubicle farm of possible COVID carriers, and I didn't like it because I was like, okay, what would be the reason why you would want your employees to be in office? So I took to the powers that be in Twitter, and I just had the conversation or whatever, and they wrote me back, and they never used that page. They never used this corporation.
never.
Do you want to call? You don't want to call their name?
We can call them out. CarMax. They never.
They got back. They got back to you.
So they wrote me. But remember, I said, why would you have them in office due to training? And from what I know, there's no training being done. And they were like, well, we want to have our associates closer to us to answer any questions they may have.
I'm good.
Right. So I said, questions and training. So my sister was like, she doesn't want to lose her job. She's afraid. Right. So she was like, Beck, I can't lose my job. And I understand that with everything in me. I understand that. So I said, oh, you want me right? You want me right the bag? She was like, just. And then, so I guess they saw the little, numbers and the conversations flowing underneath it. And they saw the action going on with their name.
Account. Yeah.
So all of a sudden they were like, you guys can go home. So
what?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. I didn't know you should have prefaced this by saying you had a praise report.
Yeah. Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hot damn. I got to recap that for people who may have missed it. I know y'all caught it. Can y'all send up some lions in the chat and celebrate Rebecca Azor, always out there just being a rebel rouser? You won't leave these people alone.
No, I won't. And if if God don't do it, it won't be done. Now he's gonna do it through me. He's gonna do it through me. And I might, it might come with a little bit of, get ready, because I'm letting my hair down. I'm coming through like, listen, what's up? And when it comes to my family, I really saw the depression. I passed by to pick something up, forgetting that she was in office. And I felt so bad for her because she's going through a lot. On top of that, she's had COVID before. And so her fear, she has this fear, like literally, but she's like, I can't lose my job. So when I picked something up from her, I parked all the way in the back. I made her like reach out to me and I put it in a bag. And I said, I don't want to be seeing you like this. I don't want to be acting like this with you. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure you're okay. And she just looked at me and she just started crying from the parking lot. And that's when I went to, y'all, like, I don't like to see that. And then for the other people that I seen just coming out, and it almost reminded me, Ben, of, I ain't gonna tell you how, when I was, my sister had got me a job there for 3 days about 5 years ago. And I worked there for 3 days and I got in trouble every day, every single day. And,
Rebecca stays starting mess, James.
Yeah,
always.
I had just graduated with my master's degree. And after 3 days, I got a job. Praise God. I was like, get me out of this place because I'm going to burn it to the ground. But it reminded me when I worked there, the depression that people had, but the idea that if I work harder, it's going to be smarter because I'm going to get so much money. But the conversations that I used to listen to then was, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be with my kids tonight. I got to make sure my kid has somebody watching them. But I'm going to be working overtime, get that money, not to spend it. And they were afraid to use their time off. And that's what really, really disturbed my spirit. I'm looking at these people come out of this place, and at the corporation that I work for, they call it the building the green monster. You go in and your energy gets sucked out of you for the rest of the day. And that's all I could see. And I'm like, and there was no reason, because as soon as they put them in there, they took them out and sent them home because they understood there was no reason. There was no reason for them to be held captive we're in the pandemic.
It's control, though.
Captive. Yes, it's
control. They are willing to risk the lives of all of their employees in order to be able to control and micromanage them. And here's the thing. These managers who are executing this program, they ain't making all that kind of money in order to be, class traders and putting their employees. But before I go off on my tirade, Rebecca, I just got to come full circle. So you mean to tell me that when you tweeted to CarMax and you said, hey, what's good? It started a conversation on social media and CarMax got involved in the conversation and they read everything that you said. And lo and behold, they fixed the problem that you tweeted about.
And the conversations of other people underneath. There were other people having conversations. And I'm not saying that the CarMax tweet that I did went viral, but it went viral enough. If enough people are having the conversation, then, that's it. I don't need 1,000 people to be a part of the conversation, but I need people to have a true conversation, something that's more than just whatever everybody else is trending on social media, but their true experiences. And that's what you read in the comment section. I think that's what they read. And when I looked at what they wrote back, I'm like, ooh, they know they put their foot in their mouth, right? Because I literally just said they're there for training. But what training is being had? And then they responded, and there was no training. They didn't talk about training. They just said, we want to have them close to us to better answer their questions. And then told me to tell my sister to contact them. I said, you think I'm boo-boo, the fool?
Right.
What?
I am not.
Y'all not gonna fire her today.
No, they will not. And
plus they on their last leg anyway. What CarMax got, like 3 cars left?
Don't sleep on CarMax.
Don't sleep on CarMax.
There's people out there purchasing. Now I am.
Yeah, because Q just got one from that other day. So yeah, they better stop out there.
Carvana.
Shout out to Carvana though, because
Carvana coming up on their butts.
Told me no money down. No money down for me and my credit.
I hate all these corporations.
They try to screw me up with that interest rate. I'm like, man, y'all smoking some good crack. Yes.
Oh yeah, nah.
Yes, they had the lowest interest rate of my life, but that's because I fasted and I prayed. I fasted and I prayed before I got that.
God, like Father, I know you've done it for others, but take my 530 credit score and help me get a low. Oh, geez.
Hello, somebody. Receive it.
Speaking of preachers,
you better juxtapose.
Man, listen, I'm earning my money's worth this week. I'm earning my whatever. I don't know, but no, let's do it. There's our favorite prophet, Robin Bullock, our hero sound, and he's going after Anthony Fauci over the vaccine, and he's calling Fauci a serpent and a rat who has had his appearance distorted by a demonic spirit or something like that, because as my producer said in the notes, we really have no idea what the hell he's talking about. Here is Robin Bullock. I hear a sound.
There's a serpent that has sent his inbred servant to surround and siege the church. What's his name? Fauci.
Oh.
Wow.
He's a serpent. And that's all he is. But he's also a rat. And he will be fed to a serpent.
He's a rat because he's such a...
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. You ever see a spirit? Anybody in deliverance knows this. You ever see a spirit take hold of somebody, it shapes their looks. That's
Look at
Fauci.
You!
Just in case you thought I was
He said something
up.
right there. He's like, ta-da!
That's Fauci. It has taken him till it turned his looks.
Background.
Spirits do that.
What spirit got you though? Because Dr. Fauci like 90 years old, bro. He look pretty dang on good. You like in your 30s and you looking like death.
Is he in his 30s?
No.
He could be 21 as far as we know.
Still getting it right.
Listen. White supremacy age you like nothing. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Yeah. So my thing is, this is now a show.
Yeah.
It's a clown show. It's a circus.
It is.
Because when we look at this, there's no. He thought that he was saying something. He said that, and to be a Christian, since, all of us have backgrounds in the Lords, in the church, especially the Black church. All of us are
only
on
the Black
on
church
the show right now. Right. Only the Black church. Now, I've dabbled
all
over
the
there
white supremacist
at the
church.
Song of Hill, but we ain't going to get there at the Songs of Hill. But honestly, when I see this, I see, and I hear a sound. I hear a sound that doesn't come from the Lord. I hear a sound that's misinformation. I hear a sound that's dangerous rhetoric that not only comes from places like our previous administration, which was the White House, with Donald Trump, and it doesn't only come from those spaces. It doesn't only come from the white supremacist streets. It doesn't only come from that.
You working hard to not cuss in this place today.
She okay?
From those spaces, it also
my mama appreciates it.
It also comes from the church where they're supposed to be encouraging, loving, leading. But this is telling you you better pick a side. And it's outside. And churches do tell you to pick a side subliminally, right? They'll subtweet, they'll say things, whatever. But this right here is telling you to pick a side of destruction and to lead the charge and being responsible for those hundreds of thousands of people who have lost their lives to COVID-19.
My God.
So, and when we hear this play out, this theatrics, because he's getting a check for every single time he gets up here and he does this, and he hears a sound and he calls people like Fauci a rat. What does that mean? When we hear rat, when the streets say rat, well, they say that's a snitch. So when somebody, you're saying that him giving the actual information that's scientifically proven is him being a snitch, information that can save the world is him being a snitch. I don't get it. So here you are putting this rhetoric out there. And I think that it's very, very dangerous, and it will continue to be very, very dangerous, because we know what what believers are like. And it's not only Christianity, it's whatever you believe in. That group of people, sorry, my braces, y'all.
What the hell was that?
You woke up and chose violence this morning, didn't you, girl? God damn.
So that group of people are usually those ones who are very problematic sometimes when our beliefs start to become very dangerous. Like what we believe, it will become dangerous. And that's in a lot of different religions. But right here, what we see in this white supremacist olden days type of thing, but with the new Billy Ray Jesus type of swag, because we got our pastors that are new and swagged out with their little
they getting on my nerves too. I ain't gonna lie.
But we're gonna
leave them alone today. Ain't about them alone.
Pastors but it's funny because it's not even only, and I told you guys this from the get-go, it's not even only the white ones, right? We got some people in our community who are leading the charge as well in their churches and saying that God will be your mask.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something like Andrew Caldwell. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask.
Word. WURR. Word.
MASS. Word.
Man.
Your mask.
Word your mask.
And you will be delivered. Trust me.
Oh man. Well, Rebecca, let's go to this next clip. And I'm glad she did, because there's someone who needs rhetorical, literal, figurative, allegorical violence. I had to make sure it's clear, because this is a sitting senator.
Oh God.
Lindsey Graham is going to be in need of some rhetorical, lyrical violence this morning, because there's a clip that he's attacking immigrants. And the way he's attacking them is one of the most insidious forms of it's just disgusting. Run the clip for me, David.
Hotel clerks for, well-off Brazilians who are scamming and playing a game. They've got better luggage than I do. When we went through the in-processing station, these were upscale luggage, no dirt on their shoes. They fly into Cancun. They fly to a friend or relative already in the United States. This is offensive.
Oh my!
It is a bunch of bullshit.
No, let's keep this.
Oh
here.
Really?
So real quick, just one thing to comment for context. That picture at the end, the picture of the shoes, he took that himself. If you look at the corner, Senator Lindsey Graham in the at the facility, he took a picture of someone's shoes.
And they're Pumas, and not to say,
and don't even have shoestrings in them.
Yeah,
she doesn't even have shoestrings in them. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rebecca.
No, you're fine. There was another clip that I actually saw, and I wish we had that one instead of him talking about, the influx of Brazilians that are going to come, or people that are going to stop at
Brooklyn accent,
or whatever.
Me too.
They're going to come in. They're going to come in, and they're going to be wearing like all these different name brands, and then they're going to try to come in here and take from America. So whatever conversation he was having, which is similar to what he just said. And the little heifer on the side that's laughing at the expense of people who are coming for their freedoms. And to say, for Lindsey Graham to make this statement, I don't understand why they can't fathom that people don't want to leave their countries, but because of the constant nosiness of the U.S. and the constant abuse that the U.S. does to these countries, right? So they're going to come over here and see what the U.S. is talking about. This land of the free, right? This melting pot that is accepting and that loves everybody and that is full of different colors and all of that. They're going to come here and try to get their freedoms. They're going to come here and try to be safe. They're going to come here and try to save the lives of their family. A lot of times, and I want to point out this too, a lot of times of these immigrants or these asylum seekers, a lot of times back in the day, remember I told you guys, we have a thing that we call the doom. And we put all these clothes in it, and they could be Pumas, they could be stuff from like a college that the people don't even go to, and we send them to our family members. And when we send them to our family members, they wear them. Okay, they put them on. So when they're traveling, they need to be clean and nice too. Who said they gotta look like what they've been through? Who said they gotta like what they've been through?
Come on, somebody.
Now, but this is still so dangerous for this to come out and to be a joke. It's a joke. It's funny to him. And for him to have taken this picture of somebody, who knows if that's just a regular person, probably not even going through nothing. And he's seen that and he assumes his assumptions. Not only his assumptions, but the fact that he's a prejudice. He's prejudging folks, not knowing if this person or that person is going through, but just because how the person looks. And maybe because their skin had a tinge of brown in it, they had to be somebody who was seeking asylum.
Just a drop. One drop of melanin.
Just a drop. God. It's
Barely
very problematic. And run Puma they check, because that's a good shoe.
Puma run us a check because I got one on my damn shirt today.
So don't be staying Puma on this channel too. God dang, we stay in Puma a lot.
We staying in Puma. Run us a check so we ain't gotta. Hey, y'all gotta check. What time y'all gotta clock in later on, man? Anyway, I digress. Let's keep moving, man. We cooking with hot grease this morning, man. A couple more stories, and then I'm gonna get completely out the way, and we do whatever y'all want to do. The war on Christmas has already started. I don't know if you guys realize that in the midst of this war, and actually, no, I got to go back. And hold on, David. Before you play that clip, you said something, Rebecca, that jumped out and smacked me in the face, talking about the reason they come here. Right? I almost moved too quickly. They come here exactly like you said, America intervening into their politics, right? In their local country, in their home country, and they come here looking for that peace. They can't get peace in their country because of all the stuff that's going on. It's not just America. America's not the only actor on the international stage. There's other countries that are involved, especially when we're talking about Haiti, right? And you think about the comfort that we have. Like one thing I never have to worry about. I got a lot going on. Y'all got a lot going on. One thing none of us in the United States of America has to worry about is a drone flying overhead and dropping a bomb on us. Right. And so these are the conditions that are happening outside of our borders that are pushing all of the asylum seekers to us. So, of course. And then, Rebecca, last but not least, why they got to look like what they've been through? Why Lindsey Graham need these people coming and begging and screaming only to send them back? It's because they're sociopaths and they get joy out of seeing people who are miserable. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. The war on Christmas, unless y'all got something else. The war on Christmas is promoted by Fox News. It is a marketing plan. And just like Christmas, like when did y'all first see some signs of Christmas? Because I've already started to see some.
You're talking about my accent. Why do you say Christmas like that?
How did I say it? Christmas.
What do you mean? Christmas.
Because I'm country. What are we talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm from Mississippi.
You black
Rebecca
American.
said this Christmas.
It's like white. That's why I like to say white man. That white man on my screen. Why I got a
white?
Well, you know I'm a Harvey, right? You know white. I might actually be related to Steve Harvey. So he say white man.
You probably are. White Christmas. Christmas.
Well, you set up the damn story. You get in the document.
For Christmas.
I like that one. What you got again?
Gonna get that boy. Hey, a little bit of this, and then a whole lot of that. She want a little bit of this.
But before,
I'm sorry, y'all.
I just want you guys to see.
We don't even have to do the story. Go ahead.
How Christmas literally is pulling up. If you go to I thought that we had an opportunity and a chance this time. So I said, okay. I set my place up in September to give she looked like she was giving Grinch. She was giving Grinch more than Joe Biden was for there. But no, y'all, I set my place up in September for Thanksgiving, yada yada yada. And I'm like, dang, okay, great. Like, for fall season, I went to the store, everything was fall. Like back in the days when we were younger, how it just used to flow with the months.
Yeah.
I think that they were so challenged with, y'all just staying on fall. No, we have to push everything in their face at one time. I went back to the store, y'all. It was giving Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas and the first
the same time
of the year.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
So they're going to have y'all buying Christmas decorations in September.
I almost felt compelled.
Gwen already got
to purchase.
Gwen already done made wreaths and everything. I talked to her yesterday. What you doing? Oh, in the garage making a wreath.
Wait. Mama,
like, it's a Halloween wreath? No, Bubba, it's for Christmas. Damn, Mama, we ain't got the Halloween yet.
Yeah.
Man, my family is ready. They stay ready, bro. They about to start decorating next week, probably.
Yeah, I almost listen to Christmas music. And usually I wait till November for Christmas music. But I was like, Lord, I'm feeling a little bit of...
I need a little bit. Oh no! Someday at Christmas, there won't be boys.
I was getting that in my shanana, and I had to say, "Devil, I rebuke you."
It's too soon. It's too soon. It's too
not
soon.
Upon us yet, and I want to experience Christmas when I'm supposed to. I need to be thankful that Thanksgiving is coming up.
Right.
At least there.
They want us to go spend some money. You got to understand. They got to get us. You see, go back to that cargo ship, because that cargo ship got a whole bunch of junk on it that they need you to buy.
Good.
They just stuck out there. Let me go.
Ready for a Black Monday sale, and I'm like, why are we already on a Cyber Monday sale? Why are we already doing that when what I never?
Because those white folks on your screen got to get paid.
I said I never knew that Halloween was coming up, like with that kind of. I know they had that Black Friday sale on Halloween. I thought it was just Christmas and Thanksgiving, but now it's y'all in another conversation. Sorry, see, the mind is working crazy right now, y'all.
Well, hang on, but are you because I think it'd be. Is it tied into this? Because I want to play the clip.
It will tie into this. No, but you go ahead and play.
Work your magic.
We'll tie.
All right, let's play the clip. Play the clip so that we can see the war on Christmas.
Biden who stole Christmas.
Christmas canceled? We're looking that way right now.
Holiday gifts in jeopardy.
Presents for your kids may not arrive on time or even at all.
Everything from holiday gifts and decorations to Rice Krispie treats.
No presents under the Christmas tree.
Who's going to save Christmas for Americans?
Could Florida save Christmas?
Christmas is 10 weeks away.
The White House, the administration is trying to protect the president from being the Grinch who stole Christmas.
The supply chain crunch that threatens to spoil the holiday season. There will be things that people can't get.
Toys not getting shipped.
Toys like Tonka trucks.
Tonka trucks,
Yeah.
My Little Pony, Care Bears.
It's the type of things that make or break a Christmas.
Lincoln Logs, Care Bears, Tonka trucks, My Little Pony.
We've showed you the kind of trek from the Care Bear in a factory in China to the store in Massachusetts.
Well, this is the Togetherness Care Bear, and everybody needs to be together, and everybody needs a hug. They're going to be harder to find.
If people can't get bacon and people can't get a Tonka toy, that would be Joe Biden.
Who the hell plays with Tonka toys still?
I had to really. I'm totally shocked. I had to really stare at the screen for 2 seconds and say, "They're doing this again." This was last year's script, and it's so funny. You don't give a damn because I wish y'all paid me to do this. I really did. I really do.
Because they don't even do propaganda good. Well, no, actually they do.
Right.
Good.
I will give y'all a lot of hair slings. I'll get upset for y'all that it's the war on Christmas. But anywho, this is ridiculous. There's still a war on Black people every single season. And y'all talking about this war on Christmas for kids to get toys. We are buying toys. There's a war on people with y'all out here trying to have people go to work during the whole pandemic. Let me tell you something. This is what I was going to tie into it. You guys are so worried about this war on Christmas, kids getting toys, the America not having a shortage of people working. Have we ever thought that all of this has to do with the pandemic? People aren't working, so toys can't get delivered. If they're not being delivered, but in which they are being delivered, because we see that how Amazon was working 79 jobs to get the stuff there in about 2 minutes after you ordered it. It is still possible. Stop playing with us. But we see that. Did anybody ever think that, dang, these jobs aren't filled not because people don't want to work. It's because, people 700,000 people died
That's right.
COVID-19, and they used to have those positions.
That's right.
Is it this war on Christmas that people are more, that parents are hospitalized with COVID-19, not able to buy their kids toys? People can't afford to buy their kids toys because those 2 checks that we got
wasn't enough.
Did nothing for us, and people are still homeless.
But you got to go buy some damn toys, Rebecca. You got to go buy toys, sis.
You got to
be
buy
homeless.
Toys that's going to help America, and it's going to help. Do what? Is it going to help people come out of the hospital? Is it going to help bring people out of those graves?
No, it's going to help Coke.
Kids died too during, of COVID-19.
It's going to help your boy David Koch, or whichever one of them is still alive. This is literally, Rebecca, you killing this today, because it is honestly about the fact that they want us, even in the midst of people dying, 750,000 people dead, and a full-blown pandemic, they still want our last dollar. That's all this is about. That's all this is about.
It's just money. It will always be a capitalistic view, no matter what. It's going to be money over bodies. It's going to be period. Like, I need for you guys to go out and continue to buy this stuff. So all these companies that have the means to pay the media to make it seem like it's a true crisis for them not to make any money, they're going to utilize that. They're going to now remove what we know to the joys of Christmas. For back when I used to be a little thing working at the mall, the joys of Christmas for white folks used to be paying the homeless, Merry Christmas, only on that day, only in that season. And I used to watch it myself. Hey, $5, Merry Christmas, buy food, because they felt like giving to people who didn't have was it. But now the people who have are saying that they don't have while they're sitting in their mansions. While they're sitting on their yachts, but they're saying that it's not technically a yacht, it's a little boat. And it's, about God knows how much thousands of dollars. And,
shout out to the Joe Manchin reference. Come on, sis.
And this is what I'm talking about. Like this, there is no war on Christmas. You go on Christmas how you Christmas. Some people they're not thinking about Christmas because they're in the streets. They're living outside, Right. Some people have people who've passed away, so Christmas doesn't mean anything to them this year. You have to understand, like the rhetoric that are being put out. None of this is for us. None of this is for us. None of that news is for us. That's going to be for the people who can afford, and they're going to look at that like little.
Oh well, you're gonna have some, because good God-fearing black folks such as that we are, who don't have the opportunity to understand the nuance that you just gave. They put that up because they know there's a lot of folks like, wait a minute, don't mess with Christmas. Every single year,
there's some kind of robot. If they say the word war on Christmas, next thing you know, for those people who are overly saved, the Jesus Juniors, right, the superior saints, right, they're gonna be like, oh God, not Christ, not Christ must not. Oh no, they're trying to put the X on the Christ. Oh no, they all of that. Then they just really just like robotically run to the damn toy store, purchase the whole damn lane of toys.
The whole store.
It's just like, then they go drop it off and talking about I'm giving to the kids because they was trying to take out the Christ in Christmas and put an X.
I wish the people listening to the podcast could see your silly ass. What they do? Must worship Christ.
Buy the toys.
Must celebrate Christmas.
They want to remove Christ from Christmas.
Take my money.
Y'all is special as hell.
Give me COVID. I gotta show I'm a patriot. Speaking of, wow, man, we're in our bag today. David, do we have the clip of the guy from Prager University who said, "Give me COVID. I want to be a patriot." Please say, Rebecca. They done cleared out the whole Toys R Us. They done bought all the toys in Toys R Us just so they could prove they good Christians.
Only to go drop it off. Look, must drop it off at the shelter. Must drop it off at the shelter.
Only during the holidays. Otherwise, they're going to walk right past it.
I told you. I used to work at JCPenney, right? As a young little thing.
I used to work at Sears.
Cashier at my JCPenney during the holidays. And I used to see what happened every time a white, and it was, I'm telling you guys this, it was always a white folk. And it was in Palm Beach. So that area has a lot of rich white people, and they would come and they would shop, and they would look at like maybe homeless people that probably weren't even homeless, and be like, keep the change. They hold the door. Come on through. Happy holidays.
No. Merry Christmas. What you talking about?
Sorry. That's what it was at the time. Merry Christmas and God bless.
And a happy new year.
Here's some extra money. May God bless you.
Oh man, that is I'm done. What else we got? Oh no, we do have the clip. Okay, so we got the clip of Dennis Prager. He's from Prager University. And it's not it's Prager U. Gotta be sure not to mess that up. They call themselves Prager U, even though they're not an actual university, because they need.
I'm like, who? I never heard of Prager.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm like Prager.
Yeah.
Prego? No?
Prego, Ragu University.
Okay. Ragu. Prego. Okay.
Well, I can't even do a real show with y'all. Well, this is him on the screen. This is Dennis Prager, and he's battling COVID-19, and he's such a good American patriot. He said he ran out into the storm, Rebecca, and caught COVID so that he could get the COVID in the storm of the pandemic. He said he intentionally went out and caught COVID-19, and he looks like he's a walking comorbidity. Let's take a listen in to this man, Dennis Prager.
Okay, everybody, all good. I'm broadcasting from my home because I'm not going into the station as I have COVID. I was tested positive last week, and I have been steadily improving. At no point was I in danger of hospitalization. I have received monoclonal antibodies. That's Regeneron. I have, of course, for a year and a half, not years, been taking hydroxychloroquine from the beginning with zinc. I've taken Z-Pak, the
Let us know what
erythromycin.
Work, name them all.
As the Zelenko protocol would have it, I have taken ivermectin.
Ivermectin.
I have done what a person should do.
My God.
If one is not going to get vaccinated. It is infinitely preferable to have natural immunity than vaccine immunity. And that is what I hope for the entire time. Hence, I so engaged with strangers, constantly hugging them, taking photos with them, knowing that I was making myself very susceptible to getting COVID, which is indeed, as bizarre as it sounded, what I wanted.
He has breathing problems right now.
He did.
In the hope that I would achieve natural immunity and be taken care of by therapeutics. That is exactly what has happened. It should have happened to the great majority of Americans. The number of deaths in this country owing to COVID is a scandal, which one day will be clear to Americans.
Did you see that sleight of hand at the end?
It was the beginning of the clip for me, y'all. That took me out.
You know,
he started talking. He's like, "Yeah."
Run the first 30 seconds again, David. Let the first 10 seconds. 10 seconds. It's early.
Everybody, all good. I'm broadcasting from my home because I'm not going into the station.
And here go me. See, as much as I like to ride people out, but here go my behind. I feel bad. He's wrong.
It's his dumbass.
And he's still
my God.
And he's still saying things that are still not even like helpful. He's still saying that it's a scandal. COVID-19 is a scandal. The pandemic is a scandal. Yet he's a part of a number that he's a part of people who have been affected gravely by listening to the terrible rhetoric. And you're literally telling us that you've utilized ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine,
yeah.
Whatever. And you're telling us that you use these things which we know have not worked. because you have COVID-19 and it's affecting every part of you. Maybe he had some pre-existing conditions already, but to see him like this really, like, other people have had all of these symptoms.
You are such a good person, Rebecca.
Couldn't breathe, but just to see somebody literally fighting for their lives and still telling us that what they're utilizing, like it's still a scandal. God forbid, but you may not be here.
That's
to talk about this being a scandal.
Right. And don't understand and realize that y'all leading all this stuff and y'all still depending on the antibodies. So you're going to go out there, just catch it and then wait to build up antibodies. Then, okay, cool. Just die.
And you got to think about it this way. Go ahead, bro.
I was about to say, read the super chat real quick. An adverse reaction to Z-Pack and ivermectin is diarrhea. A man this full of BS should be on the toilet 24/7.
I agree. Somebody said hydroxy.
This man said, "Hey, this man said I'm injecting myself with horse dewormer, ivermectin. I'm using fish tank cleaner, hydroxychloroquine." But he also didn't, he also said he's getting the whatever, the antibodies, the treatments and stuff. He's getting treatments that most people are not going to be able to get access to because a lot of Americans, how many Americans don't even have insurance in the first place? They weren't going to the hospital before the pandemic. They're sure as hell not going during the pandemic unless they're like Prager there, who's like, because he wanted to intentionally get COVID-19. Rebecca, you're a good person. Because I have absolutely no sympathy for this man.
I am, but if I see somebody, I hate to see it. I hate to see what COVID does to people because COVID is
to him. I don't know if I hate to see it. But I don't know if I hate to see what it does to him.
Maybe it's just the peopling in me. I don't like people much, but I don't want to see people die either. Now he's over here and he's still, but even in this moment where he doesn't know what his body is capable of doing and if it's going to be able to fight off anything. And, I don't know, but even in this moment, it's so sad that you are willing to fight and utilize and push this narrative that COVID-19 is a scandal, that the pandemic is a scandal. You are part of that number that may not make it, my guy.
And let me say this. I tell you one other thing. I guarantee you, he already got the vaccine. There's no way.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, he may as well. He's probably vaccinated and he knows that he may make it through this, but he has to continue on to push this rhetoric because it pays him. If he knows he's going to live and probably might live with one lung, that's all right with him because the money is more important.
David, I hate you, David, because he is pausing.
That COVID-19 ain't no joke, is it, Dennis? He follows me on Twitter. Let's tag him in this clip.
Really?
How's your oxygen levels this morning? I just want to check on you. Anyway, I digress.
Looking at honestly, 86% right now.
Is he alive right now? Can somebody do a wellness check on Dennis Prager? Did he die overnight? I'm sorry.
Damn, Ben. I ain't go that far, Rebecca.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Even I had to say, damn, Ben, I can't go there.
Ben be talking about dying every day. He is not. If you go on his social media, he's like,
dead already.
I thought this person was being posted because he died, and it's usually somebody who was an anti-vaxxer or anti-masker.
Like, somebody died recently that was no, I'm gonna keep myself out of that argument. Rush Limbaugh, like let me jump to somebody we could all agree on. I celebrated when that man died. I'm sorry. When you have positioned yourself, you were there. Did we have a party? I probably did throw a party, James.
I think it was a patron party.
The Rush is Dead patron party, 2020. But when you see people, man, who take all their wealth and all their energy and make an investment into getting other people killed, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna cry, bat a tear if he end up getting carried away by those Nigerian pallbearers. Don't shed
no tears. No, I'm not gonna cry.
Let me find out y'all just did an African version of Not Gonna Cry because Ben had the African beat him over there, Rebecca singing like, damn, that sound kind of good though.
No, I'm not gonna cry. Who's in that song again?
Mary.
Oh, yes, it is, Mary. Yeah, so we're not going to cry, right?
Mm-mm.
We're not doing that. We're not going to shed any tears, but
not for everyone else. Like, by all means, you know me. I'm as empathetic as you are, Rebecca. But for these propagandists, man,
they don't give two damns nowadays. I don't know how y'all get him into this person. He really be like, man,
I'm a whole different person now, Rebecca. I'm a whole different person. I had to move. This dude brought the smallest little moving truck I've ever seen in my life. I could get like 3 things on there, and I end up having to go get a U-Haul and move my whole damn family myself.
Bill was probably pacing the floor like, this really don't.
I said, I wish this mother
truck the size of my daughter's
trying to patronize black people. No.
Here they go.
Here they go.
Now I gotta go out and get some white folks.
Never been already know who you got, and they probably did like, bro, you about to move what with that?
And then he told me he was done for the day. I said, what?
Ben was mad.
Ben was mad.
I said, what? You done for the day? I still had 80 dozen boxes in my house. And this man said, I'm done for the day.
Listen,
man, I rented a U-Haul, and that man, I went outside. Y'all should have seen me.
Do it yourself. It'd be like, see, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
Do it yourself. That's what my daddy taught me. Listen, I went outside 4:00 in the morning. I started stretching. Y'all would have thought I was like Black Buddha out there stretching and doing. Man, I got that U-Haul. I started throwing boxes and stuff. I said, I'm gonna get it done. And we got it done. So that's why today, Rebecca, and forevermore, I ain't got time for these fools, man. I ain't suffering no fools.
No.
If Dennis Prager goes the way of the dinosaurs, cool.
Damn.
If CarMax is set on, I'm just kidding. If CarMax continues to bring people into it,
we're going to have to buy them out.
Listen,
send up some super chats so we can buy out.
Who wants to? Because at the end of the day, I got to get to work after the show. And that's why I get my sister being fearful of not being able to have her job. I fight every day for I fight every day for the people at my job and for their freedoms and for their rights. And when it comes to my family, I will do the same. But the same way that I'm afraid that if I were to lose my corporate job, I wouldn't be able to live. I know I wouldn't be able to live. I wouldn't be able to even have a place where I'm able to do this show. I wouldn't. So that's why I got to keep it light, even though I want to fight right here on the show. But just know I'm fighting when I'm out there in the corporate streets when they trying to talk to me crazy. Yesterday, they tried to have a meeting with me and I had to set them straight. I had to lay down the law. I had to let them know, listen, employees should not be treated in such and such way. How, Rebecca? Well, I'm going to let you know. Back in the month of X, Y, and Z, this is what you guys did, and this is what it was, and this is what all of these. Where at all does it tell us that this is against the protocol for Bank of America? Where at all does it tell us that we cannot go?
Yeah, right. I know what you're saying. Keep going, Rebecca. Yeah.
No, that's all right. Y'all send me some cash apps because I may be without a job after this.
Shit. I mean, shoot.
You can't take us off the air.
It's
falling apart. It's all falling apart. James, introduce this last clip before Rebecca gets fired on her day off.
Yes, because Rebecca, right? Because I can't say nothing because I
can't help you yet. Listen, we only got about 1,000 patrons.
That I'm not like I'm so ready to quit this goddamn job. I don't know what to do.
That's all right.
Help me.
Lord, I seen you do it for other people. I mean, people out here selling sweatshirts ain't got nothing on them. Go ahead, David.
Okay. Yes. So this last clip, Ben, is one of our Cookman alumni as well, too, marched in the band with me. And David, I just let you play that clip so you some of her
Hell
beautiful work
Wildcats,
that she's done. Hell Wildcats. Love you, Rebecca. Mean it.
What you say? Look at that.
Just wait for it.
Okay, because I'm waiting.
Ah, man. Come on, somebody. Can I get a piece?
Okay, exactly. That's our sister
Okay, y'all
Sky
drugged me
Confections.
through all of that.
Oh, wait, Rebecca. God dang, let me finish, girl, because I'm trying to plug this girl so she can get some business. God damn. You be so goddamn quick to cut somebody else. Shit, nah. We ain't talking about your little school on the hill and they little punk ass homecoming night. Give me 5 seconds to talk about my homegirl and her cake making business. Is you cool? Is we ready? Can we move on?
Okay. You got it.
Thank you. Sky Confections on Instagram. Y'all check her out, y'all. She does some fantastic cakes. Everything, y'all, that tastes delicious. Just like you said, she made a whole replica of one of the buildings that's on our campus, Whitehall, which is one of our famous buildings that's on campus. She made a whole replica of that, a cake replica of the building. So please go out support Sky Confections. Y'all order a cake. She does classes as well too. She does a damn thing with these cakes.
That's amazing, man.
And she's here in Atlanta as well too, but she ships nationwide.
Oh, no, I want her to do a German chocolate cake for me. Can she do like faces? Can she do like a cake of Ron DeSantis's face? Can she do that? Because I want to, or Greg Abbott. You know what I mean? As a, God,
she probably can. Look,
if she can, I would really like to like smash some cake and eat it in real life. Anyway, Rebecca, setting my sociopathy aside, I'm sure y'all got somebody at FAMU who could do the same thing somewhere.
Oh, is this a graduate of Bethune-Cookman College?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look at y'all. Y'all don't even know y'all school name.
I heard you say college. She graduated.
So
she graduated when it was college. We heard you.
She graduated when it was university. She graduated when it was university.
That's all right. And the fact that you guys care so much for people who've graduated from your alma mater and their gifts. This is a good gift. And I will say, what's her at again on social media?
Sky Confections. SKYECONFECTION. Sky Confections.
What kind of cake is that? That's like vanilla with chocolate in it. What was that? That
Good. It was okay. So the cake looks good. That's not the issue here. The cake looks great. The cake is beautiful. It shows that she is effortlessly very detail oriented and that at least it's beautiful, right? But here I will say you had me wait a long stretch. I thought that there was the cake was about to open up and there was going to be something inside of that cake, which is the cake looks good. It actually looked like
the school. It looks like the building.
What the building inside of it looked like inside that cake as well. Not sure, but I just didn't like that you had me stretch out for all of that time.
Oh, Lord.
Cake. I ain't like that. But that's what people from BCU do.
You know where Rebecca?
No, that's what people from FAMU do. Let's talk about you, girl. You go ahead and get a whole time right to talk about FAMU.
Rebecca.
Days and 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 days. So you're going to sit there for your little 1 minute and wait and get drugged like you dragged us. So, girl, you will be okay.
Shout out to BCU though.
I'm so glad I got James on the show now because
BCU though, formerly BCC. But for this girl,
I could never go at Rebecca like that. Without she and I were like, me and Rebecca be like, we sister brother, we be ready to fight when we get disagreed on air.
No, Ben face always be like, I want to fight you. Bubba be like, okay, let me smile after this so I can show her that this, let's kiki a little bit. Ben will stay
you're right. That's a big difference. I'd be like, I'd be taking off my glasses like. Y'all gonna do this now live on air? Y'all gonna act like this live on air? Really? That's what we doing today?
That's what you do. Sound you for real. Just sitting there like, bro, you okay? You good? Okay.
God has delivered.
He won't listen to you talk, and then he'll let this long pause after you spoke come through and be like, yeah. Well, yeah.
I
hate you, Rebecca.
James, because I need a break. I got to get up. I can't sit down that long. I got to keep my lower back in shape in case I don't get good movers in Atlanta for next week. So I'm going to go outside and stretch for about 5 minutes. We're going to go to the after party, patreon.com/like it or not.
BCC.
Rebecca.
I love that school.
Right. Rebecca.
Yes.
What is it?
You heard him right.
I'm going to go outside and stretch.
But you. All right.
Girl, the music playing. I'm just waiting for them to bring the channel in.
I'm going to go stretch. I'll be back in 5.
Let me go get something to eat real quick.
Hey, y'all. Man, screw both of y'all. How the hell? I can't even go away and get nothing. I gotta stay my ass right here in the seat. What do y'all bring me? A juice box, a plate, or something. Cash at me a couple of dollars so I can go get something to eat or something. Oh man, I just figured out what time it was. Dang, it's 10:03, y'all. After party started. Thank y'all for tuning in today. And if you have not already, patreon.com/LikeItOrNot, patreon.com/LikeItOrNot, or patreon.com/the BPD show. Make sure you get access and don't forget Halloween party. Our next picture party, October 29th. Patron party, October 29th. It is going to be our costume party. You don't want to miss it. Go ahead, join today. Patreon.com/LikeItOrNot or patreon.com/the BPD show. Thank y'all again so much for tuning in and coming today. Good ass show today. After party.
So I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me. My attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me. My successes only made him.
All right, y'all. Let's get back to it. The after party is here. Welcome back to the screen, Rebecca and Benjamin.
BC. Hey, y'all. Welcome back. It's the after party. Rebecca Azor, okay. DJ exclusive. Who was that Rebecca? We just got to listening to, man?
Egos by No Stuff. Oh yeah, you asked that question yesterday. I played it yesterday.
Oh man, no, that's a banger, man. I like that track. Rebecca, what you drinking on early in the morning? It's too early in the morning for brown
ginger
liquor.
Ale. It's a little flat, but it's ginger ale, I promise. It's flat.
James, why you were laughing at me? Why I couldn't go outside and stretch, man?
Nothing. Stretching is important.
It really is. It's essential that you keep your lower back in motion. For everything that's happening. David, do you what are you eating, Rebecca?
It was Rebecca's face for me. Rebecca was your face. Because it was your face. It was a face.
It's been a day for me, and I have to eat now because I will forget to eat later. I have a very busy day, and this is the after show, and I apologize, but I gotta eat now because I will forget to eat.
What do you eat? I mean, I know it's bread. Is there some meat on there?
Yeah, I haven't ate bread in a while, so I had this bagel bread that needed to be used immediately, and so
which means it's been in the refrigerator
for a minute, and then
on top of the refrigerator.
Put it in the toaster so I could have more of instead of a brick. Soften it up a little bit, and I put some.
You could have killed somebody with that bagel.
What? It's a brick, baby. And then I created some tuna. I'm not created, but them packs of tuna, put a little mayonnaise on there.
You eating tuna fish for breakfast?
I'm hungry.
That is my wife. I swear on everything. My wife will put some mayonnaise on a bacon sandwich for breakfast, and I'm like, that's just not right. You don't do that
like
for
mayonnaise,
breakfast.
but it goes.
Mayo on the egg sandwich is good, like a
mayo on
egg and cheese.
Ketchup on the egg.
Yeah, on breakfast. Yeah.
Ketchup.
I can't do mayo for breakfast. Mayo for breakfast will send me
an egg sandwich.
Jelly.
Ketchup.
Bacon, egg, and cheese with jelly.
Ketchup goes
grape
on an
jelly
egg sandwich.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Right?
God bless
you. Say what now?
Ketchup on an egg sandwich.
Now, but you know what? That is true, David. David is saying that ketchup. A lot of people do eat eggs or ketchup with their eggs. I've done it before, like let's say I'm at Denny's and I'm having like the moon over my hammy. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
The egg ham and cheese.
Yeah.
Now with that, I did that thing in ketchup all damn day with eggs. Oh yeah, it tastes good.
Probably has
for breakfast. See, breakfast to me is supposed to be a little bit sweet, not salty like mayonnaise and ketchup.
Now it depends on what kind of mayonnaise. Now, if you use mayo or if you use what is considered salad? Yes, Miracle Whip, because it does have a sweeter taste to it.
I have a vegan type of Miracle Whip.
Yeah,
that I use with it instead of like that real.
You got it from Whole Foods.
Mayo is real Caucasian.
This was actually from Aldi's. It wasn't from. Oh no, not even Aldi's. Excuse me, Charge. I got this vegan because they have a small vegan section, and it was really good. Not to say
not even vegan. You out there? Why you messing with the people vegan stuff and you ain't even vegan?
I ain't vegan, but there are things that I will not. I don't want because it's.
I have put ketchup on my grits before. Have you ever tried that?
Blasphemous.
No. Hey, listen, it's a Louisiana thing.
Blasphemous.
I had to get used to all kind of. Listen, you know what I thought was blasphemous when I moved to Florida and realized that they put mustard on their fish in Florida. Now, at first it was blasphemous. Hang on. At first it was blasphemous because I come from Mississippi. Mississippi, we get some good deep fried catfish, put hot sauce and ketchup on it. Came to Florida, they introduced me to mustard. I'm like, I'll never go back. I put mustard and hot sauce on everything now. So, different regions do different things. So
yeah, because in Alabama we did mustard and hot sauce. Ketchup, we really didn't do ketchup. I mean, maybe when we were smaller, we did a little ketchup, but hot sauce and mustard in Bama, that's all we did. When Grandma used to fry that fish up, oh my God, today.
Listen, I won't do it any other kind of way now, but I didn't get that revelation until I went to Florida when I was 14. But yeah. Go ahead, Rebecca. I'm sorry.
I was taught the mustard thing out there in Florida as well. But Haitians in the morning time, I tell you guys, I do it myself. I've become that. Spaghetti.
In the morning for breakfast?
I say this all the time. Yeah, that's why sometimes after the after show, you guys see me eating spaghetti. It's a breakfast for Haitians. You do spaghetti and you cut little hot dogs in it, and then you eat it, and then you have eggs on the side with the spaghetti. We have something called pate code, and that's when you put the eggs, you put the peppers. It's almost what you guys have as an omelet, but it's it's not that on the outside. It's a pate. How do you say pate? Patty.
Patty. Yeah.
Yes, and then on the inside is like eggs. Saltfish. Just thinking about it.
So
I'm gonna put y'all on.
Excuse me. Is it a sauce, Rebecca, on the spaghetti?
So yeah, and I don't even know. It's nothing that you can. The sauce is not like a ragu or anything like that. It's more so like a fried spaghetti. Is it really fried? It's fried. Okay, we put it in that pan and we let it sizzle up, and it's just really good. I'm gonna put y'all on
for breakfast though.
I'm probably never gonna see Ben.
Okay,
so you, Bubba, I know I could pull you and take you to the restaurant so you can really understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, definitely.
So we could do a taste test. I got you.
Y'all just let me get my kids vaccinated and I'll be everywhere.
And then Ben, what we thinking is we gotta because Rebecca's saying spaghetti. So when she say spaghetti, we thinking about traditional spaghetti with meat sauce and pasta sauce and all of that.
The sauce is dry. You don't never have. You're not gonna see nobody in no like.
When I do, one of the delicacies I picked up my entire life. We got this from Louisiana. My parents, and we still cook it to this day. It's struggle food. Everybody got struggle food, right? You take some rice, you take some eggs, you mix it together with a little butter, a little Lowry seasoning salt, and a lot of sugar, and you got yourself the best breakfast anywhere. So we all do our thing.
Quick question. Oh, this is a good question. You have $50 to cook a meal for 100 people. What are you making? I already know what I'm making.
$50 for 100 people, and you got to make a complete meal.
Just a meal, something for them to eat. Let's just say,
so a piece of meat, a piece of bread, and a side. Meal. Okay.
If you want to look at it that way, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of heads of lettuce and make a whole bunch of really cheap salad. Then I'm gonna get some really cheap white bread, and then I either do some really cheap chicken that you can get by the pound, cut them things up. I might could stretch it. Yeah, I might pull it off that way. Okay,
it would be either fritai or Haitian spaghetti, because I was gonna say D complet, which is whatever, but Haitian spaghetti is easy. You know how much a box of spaghetti costs.
Yeah,
and when we just take different peppers and stuff to create
that's the right answer.
Yeah. We just take different things to create a piece, and that's it. And all of us as black people, as a black people, right?
as a single black person,
as a single black people.
Listen, what we all do in each of our little areas of the world, we will make the spaghetti do something, baby. I see what we do with a pack of ramen noodles. Okay,
there it is. I'll go and clear out the ramen noodle aisle. and make the most impressive. Listen, man, let me tell you the cutest thing that ever happened. And I'm glad we're on the private stream. My little girl, she's only like 8 years old, and she was like, she wants to go to Paris and she wants to, do fancy stuff because she sees it on YouTube or whatever. And then I say, okay, so when you get there, what do you want to eat? When you're gonna eat some fancy food. My little country girl. She said, I want to have some ramen noodles. I said, oh my God. I said, baby, when I take you to Paris, you're gonna have a whole lot more than ramen noodles.
Don't play with Elizabeth, because ramen noodles actually Elizabeth, okay? Because that's how Ben says it.
That's how I say it. It's not Beth. It's not Elizabeth. It's Elizabeth. And she corrected it. It's Alyssa. It's Alyssa. It's got an S. Elizabeth.
Oh, excuse me. Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay.
It just sounds better, too.
It's
and
like Peppa Pig.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
So she knows what's up, because ramen, actually, we got the hood version, the little dollar ones and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We might do the little knockoffs and stuff, but ramen actually is something that is a very pricey thing.
Like that's damn real. Because girl, I just ate one like last week. We paid like $30 or $40 for 2 bowls of ramen.
Go to the
ramen noodles.
Asian, yes. They actually, those ramen meals.
You're talking about the real stuff. I'm talking about the stuff you buy at the grocery store that's like dried and dehydrated.
Elizabeth was she was actually probably thinking in her mind, like, you weren't on the same page as her.
Yeah.
She was talking like, listen, Daddy, I said Paris.
She's talking about gourmet, Daddy, like Daddy, the real Paris stuff.
Gourmet ramen noodles is something new to me. All right. Okay.
It's called pho.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. Well, I mean, but she said ramen noodles, and I'm thinking about the stuff that I got through college on. I'm sorry. It's just, that's what comes to mind. It's the stuff I went to the gas station and got in a little dehydrated pack with all that salt and all that ruined us.
Elizabeth was probably watch something on television, HGTV. She's probably watching Style Network.
We had some ramen noodles last week while we were in transition. The refrigerator was empty. All I had left in my cabinet was
I can't say nothing. How you feed my nieces on ramen noodles all the time?
Listen,
I got tired of feeding them junk food. What is this? This
this video is so adorable. This girl dressed up in a little costume, and y'all already know who she did, right?
It's giving Erykah Badu.
David,
play the sound, David. I hear a sound.
That's how y'all feel. Brothers, y'all all right?
All right.
Let me see how y'all grew to this. I'm Erykah Badu. I am the American, beautiful, spiritual, American singer, songwriter, record producer, actor. I become the godmother of neo soul.
Tired of your mess.
My passion's not only music and fashion.
You better go.
I am a certified midwife. This call me Erykah Badu.
So adorable.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Who's gonna get that? Who's gonna say call her? Big
I'm gonna hold it down. I'll hold it down. A backup. I'll sing the hell out of backup.
You did a little crescendo.
Hey man, listen. Let me tell you, I do some backup singing. Don't put me up front though, Rebecca. That's you.
Right.
Listen, who is this little girl? This is adorable.
Give her. This is why I need kids, because if I had kids, I'm going to and y'all gonna call it abuse. That's all right. Get out of the folks' business. Put them clothes on. We going on YouTube.
Okay,
going on the TikTok.
Learn this TikTok dance. Learn it now. Come on now.
You're gonna learn it right now. It's gonna be mother.
Come on, Tito. Play the guitar, Tito.
Whoa, do it again. Do it harder.
Oh, don't put it all on me now. I'm having a little too much fun to put me on screen by myself. Come on, yeah.
So we actually do have a TikTok video, and it is gonna amaze y'all.
Okay, let's run the TikTok video. It better, David.
Look, it's not a kid, but it is. It's like it better be good, David. These are all James stuff, so it's gonna be.
Before we get out of here, David. Before we get out of here, I did drop a video yesterday evening. It was probably the only thing that I dropped. But if you can grab that, And I would love to play that. Before
It's funny because it'll be moments where Rebecca like dropping a lot of stuff and then only drop like one thing. But this time I dropped like 1,000 things and Rebecca dropped like one thing. Like, damn, we switched up. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act. Everything
right.
Perfectly balanced.
I see it. All right, I'll try to grab it. All right, let me play this. It's like I think it's like a minute and a half.
Oh, that's long. Well, that's scary.
That's giving a little Erica too. This version is from Jennifer.
Oh, just wait.
You know I got it. All I'm asking.
Wow.
Is
Yes.
Hey. But wait a minute.
What did you say? Everybody. R-E-F-B-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-F-B-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. Take care, see me.
Oh no, she's talented.
First I was afraid, I was petrified.
No, it's...
At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. I grew strong, and I learned how to get along. And so you're back, strong on the face. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your key. If I'd have gone for just 1 second.
Oh, she's good. My God.
Yo. Walk out the door.
Listening
just turn around now.
Wow.
You're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh, no, not
Damn.
Yo, sis is amazing.
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 I love it.
Wow.
No,
Rebecca, I heard you. To the listening audience, you have to come and see this part of the patron party, of the after party, because the video itself is unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah. I love that. See, that's why my kids will be on the tick and talks.
On the tick and talk.
As soon as I pop them out.
God dang it. Rebecca.
What do y'all think I'm doing with my kids during the pandemic?
Rebecca.
Yeah.
I got half and you got half.
Let's go. Let's go half on a baby.
Okay, I need a boy and a girl. So you keep the girl and I got the little boy, and then we bring them together every now and again. What's up? What's tea?
Like, that's your brother. Say hello. Hey, look. I just came to pick up my son.
I just came to pick up my son.
That's all you do is pick him up and put him down.
Oh my goodness. Nah, I'm looking at the video, y'all. Like the work that go, like this is studio quality. Like this is movie quality makeup.
Quality. This is over studio quality.
This is beyond.
I need her to come do my makeup.
Okay. Wait, I'm saying okay. Like I got no. Okay, cool.
Do you like if you
come do mine
makeup, on days that you may have wear makeup? I need her to come beat my face. Like,
no, you're right, Rebecca. This is better than Hollywood. The makeup is better than Hollywood all day.
Y'all, and it's a few black content creators that's on TikTok that has just about the same talent, maybe a little bit better than her. Like hers is off the chain. But when I tell you there are some out there, when I tell you they are doing a damn thing, like y'all need to be on competitions.
They go to TikTok and they make money there.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, and that's a question for me. And I don't know, maybe I should have that offline with you guys, but I always wonder because we have a great amount of viewership and I want to know how we can utilize our social media, but I know because of the content that we talk about that we can't get like what a lot of other people get, but I see them utilize these platforms and their authenticity, and they get paid on these platforms just to be them and talk about what they need to talk about and how they talk about it, whatever.
So what you're saying is we got to talk about more than politics.
I'm all for it, but it sucks that we can't just talk about being black in America.
Who can?
And what that experience is for us. No, and get paid.
Get paid. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I feel that.
No, you got to go out and build a whole damn platform.
Facts.
That said, David, tee up, Rebecca, we have yours. What was that one you dropped to David?
I just want you guys to see how Just play the clip.
All right.
Come on, sticky note. Let's go. Oh! Who can get it to the wall? Let's go. Get it up there. Hey! Let's go, Roll D. Come on, get it up there. Hey!
Wow.
Here we go. Come on, Roland.
My man,
Let's
my
go.
man. Exactly.
Oh, my God. Let's go, Darian. Ooh. Ah! Come on. He thinks he can do better. Let's go, Roland. Oh!
Jesus Christ. Okay, Roland. Damn!
Come on, here we go. We got the cheerleaders in the back. Oh!
They're not going higher than that, are they?
Jesus Christ. Come on, the crowd's going crazy.
Man. That's his name. They going higher?
No.
I didn't think so. I didn't think they could go higher than that.
I have to really look at how grown folks will take kids, be like, "Oh no, do it for the kids."
You think you good? You think you doing good?
You can't do it, boy. I bet you can't do it, boy. And then now the other person's like, "All right, I can." Like, let's just try it out.
Then the
Now,
grown folks got involved.
It ain't about the kids no more.
Yeah,
It
man,
becomes
damn them
us.
kids.
And the way
Grown
that I was
men.
so invested in the lives of these black men and to see if they have ups and to see how they were going to really challenge these kids to
James,
level up.
How high
This
would
was
you have gotten, bro?
I loved it.
I would have been right there. I think I would have been like the second one from the bottom. That's as high as I would have.
You talking about you see the last one? I'm talking about the last one that's on the little green pad, the bottom, very bottom one. I probably
Very bottom. That's you and me, Jay.
probably underneath it. I would have been like, oh, boom.
Gotten the wall. I at least would have gotten the wall, the first wall one.
Yeah, bro. I would have probably got up
But my
there.
hand-
You would have got the
about the size
Listen.
of my hand, the size of my hands, I grip
Your hands are long.
basketballs, and I, yeah. And
Well,
then
I kept going outside and stretching.
and then the
All right,
size of my
I'm about to go.
arms. Do y'all see that? This is so long. Like this
You do
goes
got some long arms, black
Yeah,
You
man.
do have a long wingspan.
long
Yeah.
legs, long arms, long fingers, long nails.
She gotta stretch
long
out
head.
them bundles, man. She gotta measure them
Yeah.
out. Make sure they
Right.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that clip from Act TV yesterday. Hey,
You know
bro,
it.
did you
You know what I have?
did you see her hair on the Act TV clip yesterday? It was just bundles with the Harriet Tubman sweater. Did you see that, Joy?
No,
I didn't see
man.
that.
Rebecca, the clip I told you about, Rebecca. Anyway, I was messing with you about your hair, but your hair is on point. Anyway, let's get out of here. We got one more clip.
Me? You were talking about my hair.
I was talking about you the whole time, giving you compliments the whole time.
We missed somebody.
Yeah, I need to see this clip. Where was this clip
I was
at?
giving side part, but that was like slept on side part. So Ben, you didn't see it when it was pressed.
When your hair was all over your shoulder and it was
that's called side part, and it was giving it that one. I just rolled out of bed and brushed it out. Now you should have seen.
You woke up like that. Okay.
Yeah, you should have seen when I first had clipped her in, and she was laying down over that eye, and she was pooped back like such and such, giving you a bit of like a 50s glam, a little bit. That's what I was giving.
Man.
But yeah, once I can afford a new wig. Who this?
Once I can afford a barber to get my beard up, I mean,
hello.
I can't blame that. It is, it's the fact that I don't want nobody breathing over me right now. That's all that is. But
you gotta
when
be
we can get back,
I do my own hair in this season. So the only other person that does my hair is when y'all see me with braids, because I can't braid because I have these long nails. But when it comes to doing my own hair, when you see me with the weaves and things like that, she gets up, she gels it down. Yeah, she does it herself. I told you guys I'm newly natural. Finally got my bun back. It didn't take long to grow back because she was
that's
bobbed,
real?
like right here.
That's the real bun.
Oh, sweetie, this is the real bun. She used to be way bigger.
Is that the clip on?
No, this is my actual.
That thing is popping.
Damn, Rebecca.
No, and this is shorter than what my hair used to. Usually, my natural hair is like usually like right here, but right now I cut the perm off, so now I'm giving you.
It's just right here.
Yeah, but now I'm giving you
right here.
Black women have long hair naturally too. Like, so it's just right here. That means like we have long hair.
That's just down your back.
Yeah,
and somebody in the
in
the public show, they were saying like, "Yes, Rebecca with the bun of justice."
Nope.
I rock rough with my Afro puffs.
Period. Yeah, and then when I rock those joints, I look very
singular.
So
you can split that in two. Do the two tomorrow. Split in two. Do the what's the Lady Rage? What was her name? What's that? I Rock Rough.
Yeah, Lady Rage.
Lady Rage. All right, we got one last clip. We're already over time. This one is really short. It's a skateboarder. It is a reporter who had a previous life as a skateboarder, and then we can get out of here. Run that clip, Dave.
Exactly what to do.
I said,
and
yes,
so Mr. Premium is going to be out here every single Monday and Wednesday, skateboarding with everyone and trying his best to basically show them exactly what to do. Chandler Skate Park, they'll be done in about the next 10 days or so. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Victor, you are so cool.
Come on.
That dog did the whole damn report on the skateboard.
That's live, folks.
Watch him pop it up.
I told you, I wasn't kidding, but we said, Victor, how many years have you been skating yourself?
Oh, yeah. A long time. It's been about, I don't know, since I was 8 years old, so I love it.
That's what, you just blew Karen's mind. She was waiting to see that.
So impressed. I knew he was cool, but that's a whole new level.
Karen's like, oh my God. A black man that can skate.
Harry, back to the station, Victor. No.
So listen, Victor Williams, thank you so much for this. Victor showed you how, we are part of every group of persons and people. Mm-hmm. People don't know that we are so talented in so many different ways because they only put certain people in these spectrums. But he said, I've been doing this since I was younger. There's something cool about this. I mean, I just love it. I do it because I love it, right? What makes this amazing is, to me, as a journalist, choosing this as a stand-up, right? We call these stand-ups in journalism world. Choosing this as your stand-up and going through with it breathlessly, and then taking your breaths too, and then still being able to tell people what the news was about while doing this. So many people try to do extreme stand-ups. Back in my younger days, you've seen me on motorcycles with, hair.
You were out there in the hurricanes, Rebecca?
Listen, now I wouldn't be in the storms. I was pre-storm reporter. Pre-storm reporter, was not a storm chaser, was not involved in storms. But yeah, you think on a bicycle, stuff like that. But this, I live for a moment where you can really execute a stand-up because not a lot of people can do that. So shouts out to Victor Williams for that.
What is Victor's name from Young and the Restless? Was it Victor Williams, Young and the Restless? You ever watch
Young and the Restless was not my year.
I had to ask Mama Gwen. Mama Gwen would know that.
Mama doesn't watch Young and the Restless. Mama watched Days of Our Lives in Another World. See, there was two different variations. You had people that watched the NBC soap operas and the ABC.
That's right.
We were the NBC family. We didn't watch the ABC shows.
I was a CBS. Because that's all my mother watched. So I grew up watching Victor, whatever his last name was, Victor Newman. Victor Newman.
That was Victor Newman, because there was a Victor Kiriakis on Days of Our Lives.
Well, Victor Williams riding that skateboard reminded me of Victor Newman. Y'all, it's been a wonderful show. Rebecca, always love having you here. David, DJ Exclusive is always, and David too. David for holding down the background while Dwayne is away doing his thing. Love you, brother. We're out there with you in solidarity. Rebecca and James, it's in your hands.
Rebecca and James, I love you guys so much. I'm out of here with Ben. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and make sure you love somebody today.
Gang, gang.
Bye, y'all. Love you.
Bye, y'all. Love y'all. Mean it. All right, y'all. Thank y'all again so much for tuning in. Give y'all a few minutes of this. A couple of seconds, really. And I'm saying this for tomorrow because I like this song. Got a whole K-pop vibe. All right, y'all. We will see y'all tomorrow. Love y'all. Mean it. Deuces. See y'all in the morning, man. Oh, wait a minute. Y'all won't see me tomorrow because I'm off.